Good morning. This is Larry McMillan with the stock market update on Monday, August 15th, just a little bit after the market has opened. So we had another strong week in S&P last week, and it broke out over resistance at 4170. So the next target, they don't always reach targets, but the next target is just a little bit above the 4300 level, where we have two items of interest. The first is the 200-day moving average of S&P, which should offer some resistance. And then second is the downtrend line connecting the two previous highs on the S&P chart. That downtrend line defines the bear market. So if we were to go through that and continue higher, then that would pretty much end the bear market. A new one could set up, I guess, but this phase would be over if that happened. So right now, we have a lot of positive indicators, and you'll see as we discuss here, some of them are getting quite overbought. But the major trend is still down on SPX, so we're still keeping that heavily in mind. Meanwhile, S&P broke out over its +4 standard deviation Bollinger Band, so that's a very overbought condition as well. And we have not yet set up a McMillan volatility band sell signal in this whole sequence. We had a buy signal back in June, and we could possibly be setting one up now, but would take several days at this point to see if that's really going to happen or not. In addition, the technically the last time we broke out over the +4 standard deviation band, we got what we call a classic sell signal. Those we don't trade, and that has now been stopped out. Moving on to other areas, the equity-only put-call ratios are still very bullish. They continue to drop sharply on their charts, and as long as that's continuing, that's bullish for stocks. The breadth has been spectacular, and in fact, breadth was so strong both on Wednesday and Friday of last week, that our stocks only breadth oscillator is now at an all-time high. That's a bit unusual, and so we're taking a little bit of caution because of that. The last time that it made a new all-time high, S&P immediately backed off, but only for a short time, and then went higher again. It was just that it was a pretty sharp decline from there. So it is an overbought situation, and it would take several days of negative breadth to actually roll this indicator itself over to a sell signal. Meanwhile, the new highs versus new lows still remains very low. The number of new lows is dominating the number of new highs. The number of new highs is only 56 on New York Stock Exchange. So again, that is a bearish indicator. That's really the only bearish indicator we have in place right now. In addition, VIX has declined, and VIX is now continuing its downtrend, and that's bullish for stocks, and that will remain in place as long as VIX doesn't close above its 200-day moving average, which is right now at 2450. So VIX is all the way down near 19 now, so that's quite a distance. And then the construct of volatility derivatives remains positive for the stock market too, in that the term structure of the VIX futures is sloping upwards. Just a couple of anecdotal pieces of evidence. The Barron's has declared that their new bull market has started since we've rallied 20% from the lows. And some professionals are talking about the fact that if the market declines 20% and then retraces 50% of that decline, which we have now, that it's never gone back and made a new low. Well, that may or may not be true. There's some disagreement of whether that was the case in 1929, but even more recently, in 1973, it was pretty close to doing that. It declined 19% and then rallied and then made new lows. So, I mean, that's hardly anything to really hang your hat on. So overall, we're still hold a lot of long positions based on our bullish indicators, and none of them have relinquished that bullish status yet. But the major trend of the S&P is still down, and that's worth keeping in mind as well. So I invite you to visit our website, take a look at our newsletters where we cover all of these indicators daily. And meanwhile, have a great week trading.